Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. Call me Mr. Stanley Ombogo. So dear students, in our previous video, we looked at, so the topic was use of transitional words and phrases. And in the previous video, we focused on the transitional words and phrases that are used to give additional information. So in this episode or in this session, allow me take you through uh, some of these transitional words and phrases that we can use now to express contrast. If you were not with us previously, we said that transitions are words or phrases that specify a relationship between sentences and between paragraphs, and they are also called connectors because they join two ideas in a sentence. Then again, there is also the word a phrase or phrases, which we said that are a group of words in a sentence that help express a complete thought or a unit of words within a sentence. And that is it. Now, our focus now is our focus is on some of these words that we can use, some of these transitional words that we can use to show contrast. So contrast is the difference between two objects, people, or even concepts. Or we can just say in simple terms that a contrast is something or anything that shows the difference. And we leave it at that. So some of the examples of words and or phrases that can be used to show a contrast in sentences are we have although, but, despite, even though, however, in contrast, in spite of, instead, nevertheless, nonetheless, on the contrary, on the one hand, on the other hand, regardless, still, though, yet, etc. So from the examples that we have given, from the words above, you realize that we have got very many words that we can use to show or to express contrast in a sentence. Now, how about we try using some of these examples that we have listed down in sentences to see how it works, or to see how these transitions can be used to specify a relationship between the sentences, and again between paragraphs if you use them in paragraphs. The first one is although, and the example that we have in a sentence is although the sun was shining today, comma, it was not that warm. Although the sun was shining today, comma, it was not that warm. So there is a contrast here. The first thing that we are aware of is that the sun was shining. The sun was shining then, but it was not warm. So the contrast the contrast comes in the sense that we expect some warmth because there was a sun. It was a shiny day. But now the difference comes in where we are now not feeling that warm, and there is the presence of the sun. Another example that we have is but. So the example that we have in a sentence is, as indicated, is the wrestler lost stability but did not fall. The wrestler lost stability but did not fall. So another thing, we expect somebody who has lost, or someone, sorry, who has lost stability to easily, stumble. But here is a case where it is now the opposite. The wrestler who stumbled did not fall on the ground. Another one is despite. So the example that we have in sentence, despite applying for 100 jobs, my nephew is still out of work. So the first thing is that the nephew has been applying for jobs each and every time, but still he is out of work. So that shows the use of despite. Then we also have even though, even though. And the example that we have in a sentence is, even though he was bigger, he never looked down on me. Even though he was bigger, he never looked down on me. Even though he was bigger, he never looked down on me. Then there is also this other one that is however. However, the example that we have in a sentence is, I like politics. However, I hate the campaigns. I like politics. However, I hate the campaigns. I like politics. However, I hate the campaigns. So that is also showing some contrast. Then there is also this other phrase that is in contrast. In contrast. And the example that we have in a sentence is, Fred was late. In contrast, Ian was early. Fred was late. In contrast, Ian was early. So that has been used to show comparison and difference between the two gentlemen, that is Fred and Ian. Another example, or yeah, that is another example of a phrase that can also be used to express contrast is in spite of. In spite of. So the example that we have in a sentence is, in spite of the challenges, Chris remained determined. In spite of the challenges, Chris remained determined. So there is also this other one that is instead. Instead, I could not afford a new car, full stop. Instead, I bought a used one. Instead, I bought a used one. So there are very many. We also have others like nevertheless. And the example that we have in the sentence here is, Changa is a very little brew. Nevertheless, many people drink it every day. Changa is a very little brew. Nevertheless, many people drink it every day. Then there is also nonetheless. The hike was difficult, but fun nonetheless. The hike was difficult, but fun nonetheless. Then we also have on the contrary. On the contrary. So our X-ray results do not show any broken arm. On the contrary, they confirm that there are fractures. On the contrary, they confirm that there are fractures. So the last example that we have is on the other hand. On the other hand, I like watching movies. On the other hand, my brother does not. I like watching movies. On the other hand, my brother does not. Again, that is showing or expressing contrast. So one person like watching movies, the other person do not like watching movies. So, dear students, that marks the end of this session. Again, thank you for staying tuned till the end. And remember to always keep it easy. Alimu, until next time, once again, I'm your teacher, Mr. Stanley Mbogo. Bye.